Hey guys, so it is time for another, whatever this is, the thing I did last time where I just talk at you while I stitch. I'm thinking about maybe using these videos to replace the vlog. I don't know, I feel like my vlogs are getting like more boring and less about stitching, so we'll just see how this goes. I'm gonna stitch on Death by Cross Stitch, and I only have 43 minutes on my memory card, which is something I should have prepared for earlier. But I'm meeting my friend for coffee in just over an hour. I should leave in just over an hour, so that should be okay. So this is where I am on Death by Cross Stitch. Oh God, cat, cat, cat. Hey! Go play with this. Yeah, yeah! Angry bird. This is where I am on Death by Cross Stitch. Over here on page 4, I'm just working in this, oops, oh my goodness, this cat situation is not working. Is this gonna not work today? Should we film this another day? Stare down. Anyways, so I'm gonna work on this little crest, providing that Dexter lets me do that. This part. So I leave for Seattle on Friday, and I think I'm mostly ready. And I mean, I haven't packed or anything yet. It's Wednesday, but I'm definitely not going to be taking like a crazy amount of stuff. I was trying to decide what I should take. Okay, this isn't working. The cat is all over me and trying to eat my thread. Maybe we'll just chat for a second until he gets bored. He's in my lap right now. So I'm leaving Friday morning at like 6. I'm gonna take everything that I'm taking over to my parents' house on Thursday and stay there Thursday night with the cat. And I'm getting excited. Today, after I get back from this coffee, I'm gonna actually write out the things I wanna see in the festival and outside the festival, and then actually like figure out where everything is and how I can get to everything. I'm hoping to cruise up Queen Anne Avenue. There's some shopping up there. And I'm gonna try and take the monorail to Westlake Center, do some shopping there. There's a Zara there, which I'm very excited about. And I would like to go to Pike Place. I've been there before with my parents, but I'd like to do that again. And then maybe, time permitting, go to the aquarium. Zoos and aquariums are my favorite things to do in any city on any vacation. I would try to go to the zoo if I didn't think riding the metro would stress me out, because there's like a transfer and it's just too far away. Like everywhere else I'm walking or taking the monorail, so zoo's not happening, but I might try and go to the aquarium. And then, of course, the actual festival is happening. So the good thing about that is that the gates of the festival don't open until 1:30. So I have the whole morning to sleep in / go do whatever else I want to do. And even on each day, there's no one that I really want to see until like 4:35. 4:30 or 5, I mean. So there's not going to be a lot of pressure for me to like get there fast and like find a good spot and run around and figure out where I want to go for who, you know. I'll just hopefully be able, because there's a ton of stuff in that park. There's like the sculpture garden and the glass thing that's like the #1 rated thing to see in Seattle. That's all in there. There's like a little film festival happening. So I'm basically just gonna wander around until a concert comes up that I want to see. And I think how I'm gonna do it is, this is kind of limiting, but I'm not super familiar, and by that I mean I'm not familiar at all with Seattle. So I'm not gonna make it like harder for myself than I want to or need to. So for instance, Friday, I chose to see like 3 performers, I think, that are all playing at the same stage, one after each other, like I'm just going to be totally happy seeing those 3 and know that I'm going to have a good spot probably, and not going to worry about like running back and forth. Like Friday night, my big Sophie's Choice decision was Fetty Wap or Halsey, and I'm picking Fetty Wap because I think it'll be more fun. They only overlap a little bit, but Halsey is playing at like the main stage, like the big arena, and I just feel like by the time I run over there, I'm gonna miss the end of Fetty Wap, and then I'm probably not gonna get anywhere good in the main arena. He's gone. In the main arena. So stuff like that. And then Saturday, the reason I'm going to Bumbershoot is to see Run the Jewels. The reason that I chose Bumbershoot had to figure out where it was on the pattern. The reason I chose Bumbershoot is I really just wanted to go to a concert this year. I wanted to travel to a place to see a concert. And so I started looking up artists that I liked and their tour schedules. And the first one that I searched, my number 1 band that I wanted to see was the 1975. And it just turns out that I had just missed their North American tour pretty much. Everywhere that they were going kind of through into like the fall was too far for me to get to reasonably, you know. And so my second choice for a band that I wanted to see was Run the Jewels. And so I saw on their tour dates that Labor Day they were playing at Bumbershoot, and I saw that and I thought, I've heard of that. And the reason I've heard of that, I think, is because a few years ago, there's usually like somewhat of a comedy presence at Bumbershoot too. They do like stand-up. This year, the 2 big ones that I recognize were Nick Thune and Ron Funches are there, and I might try to see one of them. But a while ago, years ago, this must have been, Pete Holmes, who is one of my favorite comedians ever, I think did a set at Bumbershoot and also recorded an episode of his podcast, You Made It Weird, live at Bumbershoot. And that's the reason that I had heard about it, because I listened to that live podcast where he talked about where he was and what was going on and stuff, and he recorded it in front of an audience, right? Because it's a funny podcast. And so I think that's the reason I had heard of it. And so I was like, oh, well, maybe I could go to that. And then it just so happened that they had some other people that I would have been interested in seeing too. So Saturday is Run the Jewels. They are playing second to last on the main stage, followed by Macklemore. He's one of the 2 big Seattle headliners. The other one's Death Cab for Cutie, that are from Seattle. And then right before Run the Jewels is, I can't remember, but I was semi-interested in seeing him too, another hip-hop performer. So Saturday my plan is just to go line up at the main stage. I want to get a really good spot. Like if I can get in the pit, that would be ideal. So I'm going to try lining up at like 4, 3, I don't care. I don't have plans that day. That's the reason I'm going to be in Seattle. So, and then I'm just going to hopefully get into the main stage, get in a good spot, and just like plant there. I think Run the Jewels goes on at 7:20, and then Macklemore goes on at 8:50, and it's gonna be my night. There's a couple other things I want to do, like they have laser shows in the Laser Dome, but I need to do a little bit more research to find out when. Like the 2 that I want to see are Laser Outcast, which I think will be awesome, and I think the other one was Laser Daft Punk. But they overlap a lot of the headliners. Like they go on at they start at like 8:15, 9:15, whatever. So I have to figure out, I think I might try and go see Laser Outcast on Sunday. And yeah, I'm getting excited. I'm less anxious about flying internationally by myself. I think that'll be okay. And yeah, I'm just so excited to get there and be by myself. This is the reason that I know that I'm like a lone wolf person, because I have had several people tell me how brave I am that I'm going on a trip by myself. And then, you know, they've asked me like, oh, well, are you meeting anybody there? Like, do you know anybody there? Or, you know, basically, what are you doing? And I'm just so excited to be by myself that I guess it's hard to remember that for a lot of people that is kind of strange, that I would just want to be a loner. But it's not like I'm going to, cats on the table, it's not like I'm going to like some place where I would need to like team up with people or do like weird partner activities or something. Like it's a festival. Like I'm just gonna go and, oh, cat's up here. I'm just gonna go and listen to the music. Like I don't need to know anybody. Sorry if I sound defensive, but I always find it really weird and off-putting, because to me, like, going on a vacation with someone is like potentially much more stressful than it is just go by myself. And I just feel like a lot of people don't really understand that. So I was having a lot of troubles with my thread on this project, on Death by Cross Stitch. It was like getting really thin in spots and fraying, and occasionally, like a couple times, it broke on me and it was really frustrating. And then I finally realized, that my needle had like a little, like a tug in it, you know, when there's like a jagged edge in the eye of your needle, and it was just eating my thread. So I changed needles, and I think that was what the issue was. Oh, and look at this that I discovered when I was working on this border the other night. Do you see that? Just like huge loop of thread at the back. I don't know how I missed that, but that happened. Dexter is chewing on a padded envelope over there. I'm sure this is just a cat thing in general, but he is obsessed with chewing on things. Like if I buy like a bag of grapes, he'll just chew on the plastic, or like a bag of salad. Basically anything that comes in a plastic bag, he'll just chew on. What a weirdo. So I was trying to think of what I could take to Bumbershoot and keep my stuff in that wouldn't be like a humongous hassle. There's no backpacks allowed this year, and I was planning on buying a backpack as my carry-on. I have like a small suitcase, and then I was just going to take my backpack, a backpack to take like my laptop in and my book, etc. for the actual plane. But you can't, and I wouldn't need to bring a backpack into the festival anyways. Like what am I carrying? It's not like I'm bringing like my family and I'm going to have like, you know, supplies for them. Like I'm going to wear whatever clothes I'm going to wear. Like I'm going to layer, and I just need somewhere to put my wallet and my phone and my room key, and essentially that's it, right? A granola bar. So they're allowing single compartment bags within a certain size, and I don't really have anything like that. So what I ended up doing was I went to Walmart and I bought a fanny pack that says Canada on it, and I am just going to represent for Canada with my fanny pack on. Got really windy out. It is sincerely the perfect size for me. It's got a big zip pocket in the front for my phone, and then like another zip pocket behind that for my wallet. It's perfect. So between that and like my Blue Jays hat, I'm gonna be full Canadian in Seattle. Something else I wanted to say, I got the giveaway package. I received it, but I'm gonna do that video after I get back from Seattle, so next week hopefully. I ran a little bit out of time this week to do everything I wanted to do. I am hoping to get this video up before I go, and I was also hoping to do my whip update and my vlog, but I just don't think that's gonna happen. I usually try to upload my videos at night while I'm sleeping, because they like suck all the Wi-Fi out of my apartment somehow. Like I have unlimited internet, but it just, like my phone gets buggy and I can't watch YouTube when I'm uploading anything. It's just like a huge drain on my Wi-Fi. So I think what I'm gonna try and do is get this video up, as interesting as it is, this video up and then kind of do everything else when I get back. And I'm honestly not sure what the state of the vlog is right now. I'm never really clear on how much footage I have until I edit it together. So I might tack that on to the end of the whip update, because the whip update is not going to be huge. It's going to be death by cross stitch basically, and the perennial border. That's all I worked on. So those are the current plans. Okay, the cat's back, but he's really cuddly now. Oh, no, he's not. Oh my gosh. How am I going to do this, you guys? Do I just stick to the vlog? I need guidance. At least I'm counting everything correctly so far that I can see. So I've been watching a lot of Toddlers and Tiaras, which is something I mentioned in my blog. The new season started a week ago or a couple weeks ago, and up until that point, TLC aired like 16 hours of Toddlers and Tiaras, and I just taped all of them. And so I've been slowly working my way through all these episodes. That show, you guys. And I don't even hate it. I don't even hate it with like the passion that a lot of people hate that show with, because I get it. Like, it's a pageant, and they are looking for a very specific type of look, and you're supposed to look like a weird creepy doll, you know, with like the fake hair and the fake teeth, the flipper and the tan and everything. And I get it. I do. And some of those kids I think are like really cute. Some of them are like really beautiful, like even so young. Just hilarious, because I was not a beautiful child. I was like a pudgy kid with, I used to have a gap between my front teeth, had braces on the top, and I had glasses even when I was a child, and so they were these round like Harry Potter glasses that were pink and purple. So like, I was not a pageant child. Like, even if you did me up glitz style, I don't think I would have cut it in any pageant like that. So yeah, some of those kids are really beautiful, and I do admire, for the most part, their work ethic. Like, I don't necessarily remember what I was like when I was 5 or 6, but I was gonna say, I doubt that I would be such a perfectionist about my routines. I probably would have, because I was like a nerdlinger. But anyways, so I think what I'm saying is that for the most part, these kids impress me, and some of their parents also impress me. Some of the parenting is horrible though, and like, you know that. One of the episodes I taped, these are all from like 4 years ago, was the one where the girl gets like the Tinker tea before she performs, which is, what is it? It's like pop and pixie sticks and coffee or something all mixed together. It's like horrendous. And she's like 2 and she drinks that all day. So like, that's not a good choice. And that's the same kid that gets coffee every day. She has a cup of coffee every morning, a 2-year-old. So like, by no means do I endorse everything on Toddlers and Tiaras. But overall, I'm usually pretty impressed. And I'm always impressed when like the parents make their own costumes, because that stuff is expensive. And I mean, yeah, so I think there's a lot of good about that show, but there's also a lot I don't understand about that show. So like, part of the, so like I said, there's like a certain look, this like glitz look, and I think it is good and it works, but it only works for like a certain age range of girl. I'm frogging, by the way, because clearly I can't talk and stitch at the same time. I think it only works on like a certain age of girl. Like, if we're talking like 5 to 7, I think if they're too young, like these like pageants where the kids are like 12 months old and they just are like blobs. I don't know if you can judge a baby on like its facial beauty. I guess you can, but I don't really know what they're looking for. They're looking for like pretty dress and not crying, like not having a tantrum, right? But like, I feel like that like 5 to 7 or 8 even age range is like where you get the real like kids that like have some talent and like give a crap, you know, and like want to do good, want to do well. Ooh, I've been watching too much Toddlers and Tiaras. And so, but then like older than that, I think it's weird. If If it's like 10 and up, that look is very weird to me. The like hair and the flipper and the fake tan, and that I think you like grow out of that doll look. So I'm really looking for like I said, like 5 to 8 age range. That's what I enjoy watching. And like, there's always kind of a pleasant surprise in every episode for me, where like, for instance, you know how the parents are on this, like in the audience when the kids are up on stage and they're like doing the routine, you know, like, look at mommy, do what mommy's doing, smile, smile, you know, and I always think that's dopey. And there was one mom that was like being really loud, and like she kept going, woo woo, woo woo, like that was like her thing. And I was like, oh God, that mom, so embarrassing. And then they cut to the talking head of the daughter. Those talking heads, P.S., are like some of the best stuff I've ever seen on television. Because clearly they just get this kid in the room. There's no parents in there, I don't think. And they just get them to say it, because they're kids, right? They're kids. So they just get them to say all this, like, they interview them. And I just feel like sometimes it's really hilarious. Because they're like true childlike nature comes out. Anyways, so they interviewed the girl whose mom was making all the woo woo sounds. And the kid, she was like, I really like it when mommy is in the audience yelling for me. And then she imitated her and she went, woo woo, pretty girl. And I was like, aw, okay, I take that back. I like what's happening here. The thing I don't understand is like beauty and the beauty walk and the beauty, so like they all do this weird side shuffle walk that always looks super awkward. Then they hit their marks and they look at their judges and they smile, and then they do something like sassy and weird, like they do this, or like they do this thing, I don't know what this is. They're like, look at my face, and then they go, like, you look at my face, you look at my face. Like, clearly the mom is like, blow a kiss, but like they don't know how to do it yet, and they don't understand, so they'll just be like, And you know the titles are always ridiculous, like, so like Supreme, Grand Supreme, Ultimate Grand Supreme, Mega Ultimate Grand Supreme. And my favorite, in one of the last episodes I watched, my favorite category was, they always have a category for like facial beauty, and sometimes it's like photogenic, most photogenic, or most beautiful, or whatever. But in this competition, the facial beauty title was called Mega Face. Like, doesn't that sound like the worst transformer in the world? Like, Mega Face! And then there's like all these 5-year-olds on the stage. Okay, done frogging. Restarting. Let's see if I can get this stupid heart in the right place this time. I'm just tempting the cat so unfairly. Like, he's sitting right in my lap and he's rubbing up on my arm and he's being real cuddly, and then I'm just stitching right over top of him. So I can't really get mad at him when he goes for the thread, but I do. The other thing on Toddlers and Tiaras that I think people give a lot of flack for is the tanning. But like, it's a spray tan, usually. It's not like they're putting their 5-year-old in a tanning bed or like making them lay out in the sun or something. Like, it's a spray tan. And yeah, I mean, maybe I don't agree that like that's the best way to be like, here's what beauty is, you know. But like, I get it. Like, the episode I watched the other night was the California Gold Coast pageant. Like, yeah, you need a tan for that pageant. I would look weird at that pageant, you know? I also watched an episode where they had like an older age division, like a mom age division. I want every episode of Toddlers and Tiaras to have a mom age division, because I feel like some of these moms do secretly want to be like the star of the pageant, and they want to be up there, you know. You can always kind of tell which ones those are. And so it was kind of fun to see like the parents get all like dudded up in the glitz and then get on the stage and do the weird like where they stand and they put both their hands out like they're like a cupcake or something. I don't know. Like I said, I feel like Toddlers and Tiaras, to me, I understand it as a very specific age group. That look And, and I forgot to say, one of my favorite girls, and I forget her name, and I forget the episode, but you guys remember Little Miss Sunshine? Where the little girl wants to be in the beauty pageant, but she is like not a glitz girl, and she's got, it's Abigail Breslin, child Abigail Breslin, and they put like for the movie, they put like a big fat pad on her, so she would look like a real child with like a belly, and she was like pretty, but she had these big glasses, and her dance routine was to Super Freak with Alan Alda, was her grandpa that was choreographing it with her. You know that movie. Anyways, there was one girl that reminded me so much of her. What was her name in that? Abigail? No, the actress's name was Abigail. What the heck was her name in that? Okay, so reminded me of Little Miss Sunshine. She looked kind of similar. She was not like full glitz. And she didn't have like, she didn't look like the doll that they all do. What? Doesn't say their name. Olive. Olive was the little girl's name. And she was a kid that was so excited to be there and so all about this pageant, and it was so refreshing to see her be so excited and like legitimately excited, and not like this was a job. Like, you know, some of these kids seem like this is just their pageant circuit, you know? And she went up for talent and did a dance routine, not to Super Freak. But she like made it up. She like ad-libbed it. And the mom was like, what are you gonna do? You know, she just likes to have fun. At one point she had like a belt on or like a sash on her dress, and she tore it off and like flew it around her head, and it was amazing. And then, get this, she won Best Talent for the routine that she made up. It was so awesome to be like, this is like a real kid that had a ton of fun and danced around like a kid, and they gave her the title, and it made me so happy. And like, that's the stuff on that show that I always really like. Like, there was one girl that she had short hair, she had like a bob. She was like 8 or something, and she didn't have the full wig and stuff on because they couldn't blend it in with her short hair very well, like because her hair was too short and the wig was too long, so they couldn't wear it, so they just curled the hair and sent her out there. And a couple of the judges were like, you know, we need to see the big hair, that's what the pageant is about. But there was one judge, you know, at the end when they go get their scores from the judges, there was one judge who said, your daughter just looked so beautiful and like a real child, and she just looked like a real kid and so pretty. I was like, yes, that's what we need to hear. So anyways, I still have like 700 episodes on my PVR, and I've also been recording 90 Day Fiancé. That was the other show that just started back up on TLC, so they aired like the whole last season as like a big 12-hour marathon, and I taped all of them, and it is also very interesting. I like TLC a lot. TLC is like, there's only a few channels that I could just watch. Like, basically how I watch TV is I just tape things. I just PVR series, right? And so, but TLC is one channel that I could actually just like find something to watch on, usually. I usually just listen to one of the music channels if I don't have, like if I'm not watching Netflix or YouTube or like a recorded show. What else? Yeah, I think they had a marathon of My 600-Pound Life the other night, and I just watched that for a while. Curse you, TLC. Drag Race is back, Letitia. All Stars 2. I don't really know if I should talk about that too much because I think it's a very divisive program that I love intensely and with all my heart. But I don't really want to like ice a whole bunch of people out of this video because I talk about drag queens for too long. Anyways, that show is amazing and wonderful, and it's back, and it makes me very excited. I think there's an episode tonight, so I will watch that tomorrow before I go over to my parents' house. Tomorrow the plan is I want to get up early and walk around the lake. It's about 3 miles, and it's really nice, and I like it. And I need to get up early-ish anyways, because I have to get up early for this flight on Friday. And then I just have to do laundry, and wanted to work on my course a little bit, and then that's going to be it for Thursday. And like I said, today I'm going to go for this coffee and then have supper, and then plan out my itinerary a little bit more, and then just relax, I think. Try and get to bed at a decent time. Yeah. A couple of the things I always look for when I'm going to the States is I always want a drugstore, like a CVS or something. I don't think there is one close to me in Seattle. I mean, unless there's one in that mall, which there might be. But just because you guys tend to get like a lot of makeup that I can't get here, and also for way cheaper than I could ever order it online. So I always like to check out a drugstore, and I gotta find a grocery store for me to get, like, you know, some juice and some fruit, probably. And oh, and the other thing I always look for is either a Chipotle or a Taco Bell. And I think it's gonna be Taco Bell. I think there's a Taco Bell like a 4-minute walk away from my hotel, which is so dangerous and so awesome. I love Taco Bell. It's probably my favorite fast food chain that we don't have here in this city. I mean, we have them in Canada. I love Taco Bell, and I understand that it's garbage food. You don't need to tell me it's garbage food. I know that it is. But like, the thing that strikes me with Taco Bell always, especially Taco Bell in the States, is A, how cheap it is. Just the cheapest food. And B, the sizes of everything. Like, it's real when you hear about how, like, you know, soft drink sizes in the US are humongous compared to what, like, Taco Bell is one of those places where you go and you get a medium drink and it feels like it should be like an extra large drink. The only other place I can think of here that does that is Wendy's. Wendy's has ridiculous drink sizes too. So excited for Taco Bell. So I only have 8 minutes left on my SD card, and what time is it? 5 to 3. I'm gonna try and finish this little heart, and then we might call it a wrap for this video. This is shorter by the time I edit some stuff out of it, like me just sitting here and not talking or doing anything. So yeah, I don't know what to do about this vlog, you guys. If you like this type of thing, I could just try and do this, providing I have something to talk about that anyone would care about. But yeah, I changed my availability at work, so I'm going down to 4 days instead of 5, hopefully, and planning on spending that extra day on my course so I can get through it faster. So I'm just not quite sure what my week is going to look like once that changes. In theory, I should have more time, you know, but you know how that goes. This is such a change for me because I usually stitch a lot faster than this, I feel like. I don't know if it's the fact that I'm like sitting in a weird spot, or the fact that I'm talking while I'm stitching and warding off the cat, but I feel like I would have normally gotten a lot more done than I just got done. Alright, so I finished the little heart right there, and 1 leaf and 2 little cross things, and that's it. That's it. This is the whip that I'm going to take to Bumbershoot because it's all black and it's super easy to travel with, and I'm not going to try and stitch on the plane, I don't think, although I've heard that you can. Who was it? Tracy that told me that you can take a needle and scissors on the plane, like as long as they're under a certain length or whatever. Yeah, I don't think I need to add that kind of anxiety into my flight, like potential things that are not allowed. So I'm probably just gonna take a book. I haven't cracked the new Joe Hill or the Dave Eggers. I was gonna take both of them to Seattle actually, so that's the plan. So yeah, stitch by cross stitch, my tiny little bit that I did, and I will see you guys after I get back from Seattle.